Hello everyone and welcome to another best of 3 draft of Brothers War. So it's time to get back to the traditional drafts after those alchemy drafts. So no more alchemy cards in the packs, which means that we have one rare and one, of course, a rich artifact, which could also be a rare or a mythic rare, but it's not going to be either of those. In this pack, it's pretty easy first pick here, Excavation Explosion, just such a flexible removal spell. Power Stone is going to be useful in almost basically every deck will have some use for the Power Stones, some of course more than the others, but it's really good payoff. Because if you had a 3 mana sorcery that deals 3 damage to any target, you would play that in limited, but it wouldn't be like amazing. But with the Power Stone, it's going to be pretty good. The next best cards in the pack are the Recruitment Officer, which I wouldn't mind first picking. I guess that's pretty much it, but I'm happy I have one very high quality card in here. Alright, well, someone took the rare and passed an obliterating bolt to me, so I'm gonna just take it. Obviously, I would take it out of this pack even if my first pick wasn't red, but of course now that my first pick was red, I get to continue with the same color. Two amazing removal spells right away. Without the bolt, I would take flight. This is really high impact card. The opponent needs to do something about the creature being enchanted by this very soon. Otherwise, you can just win the game with the cards and the evasive threat as well. But it's gonna be the bolt here. Yep. And how about this pack? All right. Still decent options here. I don't think the Spotter Thopter is that good. So that's not really knows anything I'm gonna consider here, but I believe the picks to consider are like the Goblin Blast Runner, could be the Might Stones animation, but there's the Argothian Opportunist. I'm just going to take it. A 3 mana 3/2 that comes with a Power Stone token is really decent, and also I have already 2 cards that create Power Stones in the first 3 picks, which means I can, try to maybe draft a little bit more artifacts or activated abilities, or ways to sacrifice those for value. But I guess usually you will sacrifice those cards mostly with a black color. But of course I'm not going to be absolutely certainly drafting green here with the one card only, and even the red could be just a splash, but I'm pretty sure that if whatever my colors will be in the final deck, unless it's like a nonsense good nuts deck, I'm going to be able to splash these cards. They are good enough to be splashed. But hopefully I can be red here. Alright, so this pack has no green here, so I might be abandoning the Opportunist. But then again, this is just one pack. There is of course some variance, how many of which color appears in pack, so it could be that there's has been one green uncommon and then no other green cards, and the uncommon was like a Bailout or something. Someone took it, and so I mean, if one person to my right is drafting green, I might still be able to do it myself. But let's just pick something here before I'm gonna have to pass the pick. Might Stone's animation and the Strong Bull are the alternatives. I guess I'm taking the Strong Bullets early in the draft, and this can be really good. You do want to have some sacrificable artifacts to make this card really good, and there is one in this pack, Chromatic Star. Also, draws a card when it goes to graveyard. Not only when you activate the ability, but if you sacrifice this to any effect, you will be able to draw the card from it. So I think there is also the Perimeter Patrol you could take, but it's not even that good. If this was another Opportunist, I think I would take it, but not gonna be taking the Patrol. I'm taking the Star. It's gonna work well with the Strong Bull, of course, but it can still get some other. I can get some other cards that care about those cheap artifacts. Right here is okay. Again, I don't see green, so I don't see a lot of red either. Actually, I see white being open here. There's a supply drop, but I'm not taking that. It's time to pick a white card here. The Chaplain and the Vanguard are the options. I think the Chaplain is a little bit better, but I have no 2-drops, and I already have some 3 mana cards. Even if I ignore the green here, I think I'll take this. I don't have anything that cares about graveyard synergies yet. Although if I would be white-red, it has plenty of unearthed creatures. But I still take the 2-drop here. And Okay, well, this is a weak pack. I could take the supply drop or the disenchant now. This is a best of 3 draft. I'm not necessarily a fan of main decking disenchant anymore. I was in at the beginning of the format. Most decks have some kind of target for it, but it's still a quite cuttable card, especially because I do have 2 removal spells already that I'm almost surely going to be playing. Supply drop is decent, a trick, and then offer a sacrifice for the strong bull. But I have only 1 strong bull. It could be either of these. I think I still take the supply drop. It has more potential to become good. Alright, well, this is an interesting pack. Wow, I mean, the infantry is playable. There's not a supply drop. I mean, this is not a good card. It's not surprised this go late. There's a recluse for green still, but there's a chaplain and a blast runner here from, white and red here. I think I'm actually, and there's also the Gixan Infiltrator, but black hasn't been very open. This is of course amazing in a sacrifice deck, but I'm taking the blast runner for now. Because when this thing is good, it's really good, and these others are maybe not so great, even in the most ideal case. Okay, well, this pack shows me a combat courier also. That's one nice way to, have this get the boost effect. There's a Bliss Automaton which I wouldn't mind having. There's also a Paratrooper and a Descendant. I would take the Paratrooper over the Descendant here, and I'm thinking about I'm gonna take the Paratrooper. It's pretty decent in these kind of decks. Okay, I get past all the Descendant. This just shows that most people agree with me that Descendant isn't really that amazing. Unleash Shell is playable, but if I'm taking a card here, there's still a combat courier here. I do like to play this mostly in decks that have access to blue mana, so I think I'll just take the elite and try to see if white and red will be my colors in here. Oh, the Might Stones animation came back, so if I took the combat courier there, I would just snap peek the animation and maybe also consider blue-red as an option. Here it's gonna be either the other blast runner, but I think it's going to be the wings. It's one of the cards you almost always want to have in your white-red decks, and this seems like it could be. White was sufficiently open here, and there are decent options to the reunion. I don't like, by the way, the blast runner in white-red that much, so that's how I didn't consider it that strongly there. Reunion is good with the blast runner I have, but there's an annulate and a strike here. I actually take the annulate here. I quite like it. Maybe I shouldn't like it that much, but it seems pretty decent to have the 4 power unearther. I'm not playing the chain dicer. I'm taking this. This is actually a card you might maybe sideboard in some weird cases. Alright, out of these options I'll take the supply drop. If I find more of those strong bulls, I'm happy about that pick. Alright, I see black and red rare, but this is actually not that great. Getting Unearth for something like Supply Drop isn't even that great because the Unearth is an activated ability. It's not a way to. It's not an alternative cost, so you don't benefit from a flash when you have an Unearth ability. Supply Drop with Unearth is only a sorcery speed because Unearth says you can only activate it as a sorcery. So this is not that great. There's a Prison Sentence which works better. Decent removal spell here. It's a fairly weak pack. I mean, I would always play this in black and red. This is good if you a little bit draft around it, but it's based on my picks. I might be white-red, and in that case, I'll just take the sentence, which is totally acceptable removal. Okay, I was a little bit sad about the engineers because I mean, would have wanted to be red-green and benefit from this card, but when I saw the excavation explosion, I'm not so sad anymore. There's also a scrapwork cohort, which is really decent pick. If the explosion wasn't here, so I would take the cohort, and I wouldn't really dream about being red-green anymore. But here it's a very easy explosion. I actually have a bunch of food for that strong bull. I'm not sure if I'm going to play both of these supply drops, but we'll see. Okay, about this search engine. I mean, it requires blue. And I know it's a mythic rare. I have only 3 copies of, but I'm gonna, get the regular set mythic rares quite easily. I don't have to redraft them that hard. Then retro artifact mythic rares are more difficult because the chance to open them from packs is quite low. So I'm not taking this just to pick a mythic rare, and I don't think I'm going to be blue. Of course, the card is insane. This is the best card in the pack, and the bailout is second best, really good too. But I'm pretty locked into white red now, so I should maybe just take the Phalanx Vanguard. because I need 2 drops, and I also know it's somewhat decent with the explosions, because you can get the easy extra power boost there. Okay, I'm taking the explosion here. This might be one of my most picked cards in my drafts. I do recall having a lot of explosions in a lot of decks. I mean, having 3 explosions is not something that I'm gonna doing for the first time here now. I have done this multiple times in this draft format. Okay, let's just take it, and I should cut the opportunist here. What does my deck look like? There's nothing in this. Come on, sideboard. Okay, I'm not playing the excavation, especially not in the main deck. Well, I mean, I guess if I would draft a really interesting set of cards, I might, but it's more likely that I don't include it in the main deck. I might cut the Blast Runner, although this pack has a Mistress Research Desk, which I will be taking, so it's good, of course, with the Blast Runner getting 2 sacrifices out of 1 card. I'm not sure about the supply drops. I need some 2 drops, but yeah, this is easy. Research Desk, it's a really strong card, and nothing here in this pack comes close to this in power level, so that's very good pickup here. Rock Hunter, Unleash Shell. Now I do have a triple explosion. I have a bolt. I have a prison sentence. Now that is a good chunk of removal. Now the explosions don't kill the biggest things. Bolt covers a lot of creatures, and the prison sentence works on pretty much anything. So I'm not sure if I need to shell here. I might actually take the 2-drop. The Veteran Power Blade, I don't think I like it that much. I do like the wings a lot more. I'm gonna take the Rock Hunter over the 5 mana removal. I don't think this deck is really good for the altar. Altar works nicely if you have a lot of unearth. I don't really have more than the amulet, I don't think. What's this? Pack has basically a Mistress Onslaught, which I don't even think is that good in. Well, I mean, I guess if it's gonna be good in some deck, it's maybe exactly white-red. But I think I'll just take the Brassland, not because I want to take the 20 gems, but it's something that, if I get something that's great green, I do want to splash, and I have the Brassland for that in case that happens, because I really don't think I'm going to even sideboard in the Mistras Onslaught. Okay, so there's a Aetherflux Reservoir, but I do have a playset of these, so I don't have to take it. It would be only 40 gems. Soul Partition and the Chapline are actually both reasonable choices, but I do like the Partition here. Might even take the Bitter Reunion. Yeah, I mean, if this wasn't here, because I might still play the Blast Runner, because I have a few sacrifice effects, but this can save your own guy, or just be basically a bounce spell on your opponent's thing, and they have to pay an extra 2 in order to recast it, which is, significant. Alright, I'll take the Blast Runner now. I would actually maybe play the Combat Courier, but I might already have enough sacrifice effects. You don't need to have like 10 sacrifice effects to make these things good. If you pump these a couple of times, it's going to be good already. The engineers came back. Alright. I have the Brassland, so I'm gonna take it, but mostly because I'm not really thinking about splashing this, but I'm not a fan of the Survival of Callis, even as a sideboard card, so I'm not going to take that. Another amulet or a conscripted infantry. Huh. I don't have anything too expensive, so I might even take the amulet. Usually you will get 3 drops here in this format, I mean in basically every color, so I don't need the 3-1 now. Here it doesn't matter. I guess I could take the shoot down for sideboarding reasons. Oh, fine. I have the Brassland. I might actually want to sideboard it in. I'll take the rare out of this pack. Okay. So it wasn't the greatest pack 2, but okay, pack 3 starts very well here. Oh man. At least there are multiple options for me. I wouldn't even mind a Powerstone Engineer. I wouldn't mind an Echo Wellspring, another Strong Bull, Scrapwork Mutt. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 cards I wouldn't mind taking here, but I will of course take the Liberator Urus, a Battlethopter. That's just a ridiculously good card, because it's so easy to grow this into at least a 3-4 and even more after that, but 3-4 is quite trivial, because you will always have 2 and 3 mana spells at least. So, and it's a flash flyer which initially costs only 3. So yeah, it's an easy first pick. I mean, well, not first pick in the draft, but the first pick out of this pack 3. Okay, so I do have another strong bull in here. It will of course be the pick over the infantry. There's a Misra, but it's not that good. There's a Loran though, and I might have a few artifacts, but not enough to make it worth the pick. I don't have anything that costs 4 though, but I still think I take the another strong bull here. I have quite a few cards that make, you know, power stones, with meaning these 3. I have the star here, and I have 2 blast runners, so yeah, I'm gonna take the strong bull. How about this pack? Okay, Scrapwork cohort. I was a little bit worried. I was thinking about should I take the mass production because of the double strong bull, but yeah, very easy Scrapwork cohort. It's just the best card in the pack. No, it's not exactly the best, because there's also Thopter Mechanic. The Dissident could be good, and even the Epic Confrontation could be in a green-white, sometimes a card take over the cohort, but for my deck, I'm very happy about the cohort pick here. And there's an Evolving Wilds, which is... yeah, there's a Cavalry here. There's a Combat Courier, which works for the Blast Runners. But I don't have ways to make blue other than the one Chromatic Star activation. But you know, this Evolving Wilds also features sacrificing something, and it will actually make the Goblin Blast Runners. You know, it will make the effect active. So it's an easy pick here now. Also, you know, fixing mana. That's important. I don't have any mana fixing for red and white, so other than the one Chromatic Star. But now this is already making my mana base a little bit better here. Okay, and then I get this pack which has... well, you know, I could play the Dragon Engine. How many creatures that is? Only 13, but there is a prison sentence. Can I just ignore the prison sentence? I know I have some cards I will be cutting, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be easily going to 8 mana, even though with the triple explosion it's not totally out of question. But I think I'll just take the sentence. It's a decent removal spell. The Scry 2 also helps a lot. It's a fairly strong effect. Is this like the 3rd battery bearer I'm seeing in this draft? I think it is. But I'm going to take the Strong Bull. Although I'm thinking about what to cut out of this deck. I mean, I'm afraid it's gonna be something like the supply drops. Yeah, I don't know if I'm actually gonna like triple Strong Bull necessarily. But am I gonna take something like the Rager without access to black? I don't think so. I'll take the Strong Bull, but I'm not sure if I'm going to actually play all of them. Because it is just a 3 mana 2/3, you need to have at least a threat of activation, so some kind of sacrificable artifacts, most of the time when you have one of these on the battlefield. Otherwise it's a pretty miserably weak creature. Alright, so Lay Down Arms, Rock Hunter. I actually do like the 2-drop slightly more here. I might actually be cutting some of the sacrifice stuff. I don't have enough food for the Strong Bulls. This might be more like a traditional white-red deck that doesn't really, you know, rely on synergies that much. Okay, I'm going to take the Race of the Crown here because it is a nice sideboard card. I have no intention to main decking this, but it is a sideboard card and this is a best of 3 event. Okay, well, there's something for the Strong Bull. There's actually nothing else in this pack for me. I mean, there is a Callis Survivor and the Supply Drop, which I technically could play, but no, they are not gonna get the nod over the Wellspring. So let's keep the dream alive about the Strong Bulls. Another Race of the Crown, another... I mean, there's a low run. This is... I'm not gonna gain life here, really. I mean, a little bit maybe with the Amulets, but not gonna be a card worth taking. I will take the low run. I'm not sure if I'm gonna main deck it, but who knows. Okay, so I have now a Mistress Onslaught, which, you know, is still good with the Strong Bulls, but also the mass production. But this is an instant, has an alternative mode, but, and of course only 4 mana. This creates 4 creatures though. I'm actually taking the Onslaught here. I don't think I want to have the 6 mana card. And this is pretty much it. I'm not sure about the cuts. Okay, Loran's Escape is a nice sideboard card. It's also main deckable, but I think I don't have space for it in this deck. Okay, so now I have to first decide if I want to play the full sacrifice setup here. So the cards that are either artifacts or produce artifacts, the count of them is 1, 2, well, 3, 4. You don't usually want to sacrifice the wings, but it's something you can do to finish off the opponent. So okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11. This comes with 2, 12. That is 14 now, but I also need to cut, well, at least 6 cards. This could be a 16 card deck. So where do my cuts start? Because I don't feel, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Rock Hunter, but I also am not a big fan of not playing my 2-drop in a red-white decks. Do I have any reason to favor this card because of the fact I can exile my own non-land permanents and then re-trigger their things? Of course, one trick with the Soul Partition is that because it exiles, it does work favorably with Unearth. So let's say at 6 mana I will Unearth a Tokaz's Amulet, and then before it gets exiled by the Unearth ability, I can use a Soul Partition on it, and it will, get to exile, and the Unearth won't, do any kind of an alternative exile. It just goes to exile, and then I will be able to cast it again, and then, sometime in the future unearth it again. So it has, synergy with Unearth. Other than that, I can, reset my own prison sentences if I find a better target. I can re-trigger a supply drop, but it does require a lot of mana to make it a surprise. So at 5 mana, I can exile a supply drop and then recast it. I guess if I would play the Loran, that would be one target. It works with the Wellspring, but not, in a very beneficial way, because this is a put into graveyard ability, not a leaves the battlefield ability. If this drew a card when it leaves the battlefield, of course this would draw 2 cards with the Soul Partition. Okay, so I kind of like the idea of running this card, but I have to now cut a big bunch of cards, and I think it's gonna be the Blast Runner stuff. Because if I'm gonna keep the Blast Runners and the Strong Bulls, that means I'm not going to cut my artifacts. And what 6 cards I'm gonna cut here? I think I have to play regular mana curve still, and I'm not going to cut my removal. So I'm gonna cut something, and I'm gonna start with the Blast runners here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2-drops. I'm not going to cut them. The Wellspring is okay if I have at least 2 Strong Bulls. They are the only way to sacrifice my artifact. So yeah, the Wellspring is better in black-red, because black has also a lot of common ways to sacrifice artifacts. So yeah, I'm really not sure about the Strong Bulls. I do have a bunch of artifacts here, though. But is it... first of all, I think the Loran will be cut, at least from the main deck, because I don't have a lot of artifacts that are going to end up in my graveyard, like, mats or something like that. So I don't have enough ways to easily put artifacts to my graveyard. I have, of course, the research desk, the chromatic star there, and these things, will die, these few creatures I have, but there are not that many artifact creatures in the deck, so Loran will be cut. And now I think it is going to be a 16 land deck, because I have also the research desk, which will be at least helping to dig towards lands. So it will be 16 lands, which means I'm going to cut 3 more cards. So is it gonna be the Wellspring and like 1 Strong Bull? And when I cut those, I think it might be the Mistress Onslaught. So let's try that. Wellspring, Strong Bull, Onslaught. And that leaves me with 12 creatures only, but a lot of removal. I actually don't like the wings anymore because of such a low creature count and a high removal count, because the more removal you have, the less you need like this sort of equipment that helps you push damage. I mean, I can with this deck just deal with the opponent's blockers quite easily, and then I don't need the wings. But mainly with a low creature count, it's a liability to have an equipment and no creatures, because I mean with 12 creatures you can easily just draw maybe like 4 in the first 15 cards. Not impossible at all. So I think I'm going to cut the wings, and that means I have a space for other stuff. So if I would play the Strongbull number 3 and the Equal Wellspring, I kind of want to play the Onslaught at this point too, though, just to have a couple of... Although 4 mana for 2 artifact creatures that are 1/1s, even though you can sack them for the Strongbull, it's probably not worth it. Now this does have the pump mode too, but I have a fairly low creature count, so the mass pump is of course not so great either in the situations when you can expect to have maybe 2, max 3 creatures on the battlefield. So I do like the idea of running all the Strongbulls and the Wellspring. And then I might have to cut, you know, Soul Partition, although... Yeah, I do like the supply drops. There are also stuff I can, you know, sacrifice. I can get the value out of the +2/+2 and then sacrifice them either to draw a card, which costs a lot of mana, but then just, you know, have them up for the Strongbull activations, which is quite nice too. I'm actually not sure what's the final card. I mean, 15 lands is in theory possible, but I really don't like it. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be 16 lands. Although I can cast all these artifacts with the Power Stone tokens, so let's see if as long as I have 3 lands available, I can cast all my non-artifact spells with that, and then I have 3 cards, basically, you know, my additional mana sources that affect these more expensive things. So should I try 15 lands with the, you know, the research desk, the star and the Wellspring, which will help me a bit to find more lands, because with 15 lands I will definitely need to be fine with 2 landers. But I think this deck, looking at the mana curve, most of my cards cost 2 or 3. So I should be able to keep a 2-lander quite easily. Okay, what the heck, let's do it then. I even have the Evolving Wilds to make it at least an 8 mana base, because I can have 7 basics with the Evolving Wilds. And also there's the Chromatic Star, which helps, and this is colorless before you have to unearth it, so you will get to dig a little bit deeper. Okay, you know, let's do this at least for the main deck. That took a lot of time to build the deck, but I usually want to, you know, the other option would be to just, you know, not record my thought process and then just resume recording when I have decided on the deck, and then briefly explain why I arrive at that conclusion. But now you could kind of see my thought process throughout the process. And of course you can always skip to the end of the deck building this with the final build and then just move on to the games. So I'm not sure if it's really that great of an idea to record like 10+ minutes of deck building, but so far that has been my style. Anyway, this is the main deck. A best of 3 event means I have some nice sideboard options, you know, Race to the Ground, Lowrun maybe, Lowrun's Escape. And why I'm thinking this as a sideboard card, in the idea is that it's in grindy matches, which, you know, both players have a lot of removal, then these kind of effects become strong because those games drag longer and I will have some artifacts in my graveyard I can bring back. But against a fast deck, I might have this on turn 4 without no targets, and 4 mana 3/3 isn't good enough to run. That's the idea. But yeah, this is the main deck. Okay, so let's see how low land starting hands will I have. Of course, it's just a 1 land difference between 15 and 16, but it can still be the relevant one. Okay, this is a 4-lander, but I have a 2/3 and the 5-drop here, so this is actually good hand. And I have, remember, only 11 lands left in the deck, so I shouldn't be flooding out here. Okay, they have a wings and I can have a... I'm gonna have the Rock Hunter first. I mean, I can make this into a 3/2 on the next turn if I play the Explosion, but this is gonna deal 3 anyway, so let's do that. Okay, another red-white. There's a Misrat. So they are gonna offer a trade, I believe. Yep, and I could. Yeah, I'm gonna trade here. Because they can have something easily like the, you know, their 4-drop, which I also have in the deck. The thing that, you know, comes with 3-1 and 1-1. You really don't want to have your own 1-drops against that. Scrap work cohort, that's the card, right? And why didn't I play the Strongbolt? The reason is that I might have the explosion here this turn, and that means I can actually deal an additional point of damage. Now it wasn't efficient mana usage, but I thought it might be okay. Here I can just of course deal with the Vanguard because it is a really annoying card. Very good one. I wish I had that in my deck. But at least I have 3 explosions to deal with it, and you know, other cards too, the Obliterating Bolt. I guess the Prison Sentence isn't that great for them, because you know, they still get the triggers from it. But yeah, that's 4 answers to it with straight up removal. Okay, so with this Power Stone I will be able to cast the Amulet. So that's up. Oh, I can also cast this thing. So I'm obviously going to do that. Because I can play the Battlethopter and then the Vanguard, make this into a 2-3, then I can make it into a 3-4, this makes it into a, at least 4-5. I mean, this is all assuming they don't deal with the Liberator, but I can now attack. This Liberator has flash, so if they block, I'm willing to trade, of course, with the Architect. And they are not doing that well. I'm gonna still do this because I need to cast the Vanguard on my turn. This way I also, you know, deal an additional point of damage. And they will have, of course, if they have like a sorcery speed removal, they can deal with the Liberator, but you know, if they use like a Excavation Explosion, they use 3 of their 5 mana, then I might just explode this guy and just attack for 6. Okay, they have a Swift Gear Drake. I'm not sure that's very good. I'm happy they play that card though. I mean, of course it's good now because unless I get 2 artifacts, the Vanguards won't be able to attack into that board. But then again, I'm gonna make this into a larger one. I guess I could also just attack with the Liberator and they block with this guy, then I finish it off with the explosion. Oh, well, Supply Drop makes things very different. I can only cast 1 spell this turn though, because of 5 available mana, so I can play either the Amulet or one of these 3 mana spells, but of course Supply Drop means that any block they're gonna make is gonna be great, because first of all these Vanguards will both get the +1 power, so that if they block with the Architect, them they will trade, and of course if the Drake blocks on Vanguard, I can Supply Drop the blocked Vanguard, so this is really easy. And the Supply Drop will also make the Liberator into a 3-4. So you have to cast a if the amount of mana spent to cast that spell is greater than this thing's power, so all my 3-drops are gonna trigger this Liberator now, but after that these other ones won't trigger, so the Amulet is going to be the one that maybe pushes it to the 4 power range. Okay, they can do that. It's actually not going to be such a big deal because even though I cannot, I mean, they still get to kill my guy, but the Supply Drop will stay on the battlefield, giving me some value, and of course the Drake will go away here. That was a good block, by the way, from them, but this is still fine. I'm just happy I get to deal with the Drake. I'm not so worried about the Architect. They also take 6 damage here. Now I could have, you know, boost one of my other guys and then trade with the Architect, but I want to get rid of the 4 toughness creature. The Architect, if that thing picks flying here now, I mean, it's still gonna be 3 power only. And 3 toughness, so the Liberator can attack into that. Of course I can just, you know, use the Excavation Explosion there as well. But I might just play the Amulet on the next turn, it will have flash. Okay, though, is that gonna be something I wanna... Well, let's see if they attack. Of course if they attack I'm going to Excavation Explosion, but if not... Oh, that's gonna be good. Well, I think this is just going to be a matter of... Because of course I have the Strongbow with a lot of, you know, artifacts, so I can just finish off the opponent. But I'm gonna play the Amulet, and this can trade with whichever of those guys, I don't mind. Because it will of course trigger from the Amulet. So so they will go to 4 now, because they don't have a flyer currently, and with 4 it's the strong bulls. Of course, the excavation explosion also says any target, so okay, another double block. Well, this Juggernaut has to attack, so I'd rather kill the architect. So I'm at 20, I don't care about the attacks. Let's kill the architect now. So basically, well, I can put them to 1 with the explosion, and I don't have mana to both play the strong bull and the explosion and activate the strong bull, but of course I don't believe this. First of all, the opponent just has to deal with the Liberator, and they have only 1 card in hand. They have drawn what, 7 lands, I have drawn 4, but then again my deck has only 15. That's actually quite funny because I kept the starting hand with 4 lands. I haven't discarded any lands or anything. I have just drawn 6 spells, 7 spells in 7th spell in a row. Okay, so no point doing anything else than just attacking here, I guess. No need to show any other cards. Now, I could have played the Strong Bull pre-combat so that if they have like a removal spell on one of these things, you know, it's an artifact I can sack. But then again, if they have a removal spell on one of those things, they still take the remaining 4 here. And I can, you know, even if they have a life gain, somehow I can burn 3 extra damage. So it's a best of 3 match, so you shouldn't really give any information you don't have to give. So white red, but a nice card here, of course, with the Vanguard. But I guess the rest of the stuff is not that amazing. The Juggernaut is good. I would have not minded having a Juggernaut of my own. But yeah, the Wings is also decent. But yeah, there's some, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Drake or the Architect because it's a 4 mana 2/3, quite small creature. Or the Mistra, which is 3 mana 2/1. Does this mean I should sideboard the Artifact Hate? I have a Drake and a Juggernaut and I guess the Wings as a target. The problem is I have so many. I mean, it would have to be something like 1 of Supply Drop or maybe a Rock Hunter. Do they have like, well, I didn't see any tokens, but they might have Scrapwork cohorts of their own, which make your 3/1s really bad. I could just keep this deck. I'm not sure if the Race to the Ground is that important here. Lora's Escape. I mean, if I saw there are a lot of removal, but I didn't see any, so I'm not worried about, you know, protecting my creature from spells. So I'm kind of leaning towards just not charting anything. I guess the Rock Hunter could be traded, but I have so much removal. I don't need to Race to the Ground. I'll just keep this for now. I'll get more information in this game too. If I'm gonna lose it, and then I can use that information for the next and final game. Well, I guess it's not necessarily final game because there can be a tied game. In best of 3, that would mean that you will have to play an additional game because it's not actually best of 3 games. It is to whichever player wins 2 games first. And if there's a tied game, a drawn game, neither of them players will win that. Okay, I'm gonna keep this. Funnily, another 4-land hand, which is, you know, the opponent goes to 5 cards here, so okay then. But yeah, I have 11 lands left in the deck, so I mean it's 1/3 only. I shouldn't really hit like a streak of 3 lands, especially with the Chromatic Star. I should find some kind of gas, and most of my spells in the deck cost 2 or 3 mana. So I think this is totally reasonable, and I can even use the Prison Sentence if I need to, you know, have a little bit of scry action, and they have like any kind of a worthy target for it. I might just burn the star here. Oh wow, I actually did draw two lands back to back. Let's see if I did draw the 3rd one too. Okay, I did that, but I didn't have any spell either, so that's fine. Not that it's too troublesome when they mulligan to 5 here, and they played an equipment which is not so great when you mulligan to 5. Alright, so I will. Oh, this gives me a turn 4 Amulet when I use the explosion on that thing. That's perfect. That is perfect. Okay, that I didn't see anything green, but I guess this can be a big creature. which I can just prison sentence at some point, but let's see. They might get a 5-5 on the next turn. We'll see. Okay, they have something in their hand because they have a priority. This is only sorcery, of course. Well, I don't know what that can be. Couple of supply drops here helping in combat. They are not gonna crack the Jade Crafter thing. That's interesting. And I have nothing here, unless I get, you know, any use for the supply drops. I have a past turn, but then again, opponent has nothing to. This is a sorcery activation. Let's see if they have the flash one too. No, they are looking at the card. Oh, did they actually think it's gonna be something they can do post combat at the end of my turn? Okay, so if they're gonna make a 5-5 here, I can just attack into it with the supply drop. If they choose to not block, I can prison sentence the 5-5. Yep. That is okay, and there's the cohort now. Which I can play post combat because I have 7 mana because of the power stone, and with the cohort I can use the power stone no matter what. Also taking 4 here is pretty annoying for them because I already have taken delta bunch, I mean another 4 points there. But yeah, let's just play this thing and the sentence. Yeah, I think with the supply drops this should be rather easy unless they have some kind of mass removal effect. Okay, I can take any creature at this point, even if it's like maybe at this stage in the game one of my weakest creatures I could draw, but it's still better than a random card, I think. Okay, Blast Runner. Okay, they don't have any sacrifice effect currently. So I believe I'm going to attack into the Blast Runner, and even with the 1-1, and if they block the 1-1 specifically, I can use my supply drops in that case. If they block the cohort, I believe, because I do have 2 supply drops, they might have a +2/+0 in the first strike. Yeah, but that would still be only a 3/2. Okay, they just don't care. Alright, well, they mulliganed the 5 there, so that was a... At least in this game, by the way, I kept 4 lands, but I did draw, you know, 3 lands more, but still. I mean, it might actually be the correct choice. Now, of course, this is only 2 games, but the 15 lands could be just the actual correct choice for this deck, because I have so many cantrips, and my mana curve is so low. Okay, I get to be on the play. Wow, this 15 lands is amazing, and there's no, you know, starting hand algorithm in best of 3, so that's 3 starting hands. All of them are 4 lands, which is, you know, quite nice because I have a fairly low chance to draw more, and this is now, you know, I have a decent curve out here. Of course, only 1 creature, but I can use the removals against their stuff. I do, of course, hope to draw more creatures, but you're never gonna mulligan this kind of hand. Okay, Clay Revenant, I could exile it if it is problematic, but I really don't want to use the bolt on it. I guess I could also sentence it. Although the sentence isn't gonna be that great against black, they have a lot of ways to sacrifice things. I'm gonna play the ambush paratrooper just to absorb 1 damage. I mean, if they find a way to kill this paratrooper, be my guest. Okay, that is gonna be... Okay, again I drew these 2 lands. Now this is gonna be growing out of hand. Problem is if I kind of want to scry, so... But yeah, I mean, I guess whichever creature is gonna be prison sentence, they're gonna sack it for some kind of value regardless, so might as well be the infiltrator. I get to at least cry, which will be important because I did draw 2 lands back to back here. So my deck has no more than 9 lands left in it. Okay, so that means I'm not going to be evolving wilds quite soon, but I have 2 other land drops to make, so next turn I can play the Warlord's Elite. Unless they kill the paratrooper. Well, I mean, I guess if they kill, they kill. I have a bolt in my hand, so if I need some removal, I don't need to draw specifically the explosion there. Let's start the race here. So if they don't kill the paratrooper, I can tap, you know, pay the 3 and then tap a 4th land and also the paratrooper to cast the 4/4. If they kill the paratrooper, well, I guess I just don't play any spell then because I'm not gonna use my bolt on the Revenant. But this is the matchup where I might consider actually, you know, sideboarding out the prison sentences, especially if they are black-red. then it's fairly obvious. Plus they are playing the Infiltrator. You usually play it in decks that have means to produce the counters on it. Okay, do they let me untap? Yes, they do, so this is good now. Here I pay the extras, and then next turn I can, draw the explosion, and then I can Evolving Wilds to thin my deck out of lands even more to make it 8 lands remaining after that. Another Revenant, what? Okay, not the greatest. I'm so tempted to actually use the Bolt on this Revenant, but I mean it's enter tapped. They can use a 3 to return, but if they recast it, it's going to enter tapped. It is tempting though. They might not have any other spell for this turn, so they kind of waste the 3 mana if I kill it, because it goes to exile. Man, with the explosion, should I do that? They might just have something better. Well, I have otherwise no play for this turn. So let's actually do that, so I can, because this will deal 4 damage. I'm fairly sure they would have blocked and returned the thing to their hand. I'll just crack this right away, why not? I can take a plains because I have a 3rd mountain in my hand. So this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands, 8 left in the deck, and 20 spells. So they are in fact red and black, so I might actually cut the sentences. Now the thing is that this might draw a card in the next turn. They might actually double block here, because I do have the threat of activation from the Paratrooper, but they might double block, and then the supply drop will get them. Because with double block, the +1/+1 isn't gonna be enough. But if they have a way to make this a Death Touch Lifelinker, they won't be blocking with it. But I mean, I'm still gonna attack here. See what happens. Oh, they do the perfect thing for me. I get to kill the Trench-Stalker without losing my Warlord's Elite. They will get to keep the Revenant. There's not enough damage to do with that, but that's no big deal. The important thing is that they don't have the Stalker to randomly gain them life. Okay, well, they might have it on a future turn, but not now. Another Infiltrator. Let's see what I draw. Okay, Strong Bull. That's really good. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4 power, but I have the threat of activation here, so they don't have a good mass block, which means I can just attack with these guys. They might just jump block. I don't think they're gonna take the 4 this time. And I don't think there's any reason to play the explosion right now. I'd rather keep mana up for the Strong Bull to make it, not if they have like the explosion of their own. I want to save this by sacking the supply drop, because if I cast this, yes, I get the Power Stone, but it will be tapped, so I won't have any mana to activate the Strong Bull in that case. And I'm not even sure if this is the best target for it. It's actually possible I'm gonna in the end finish the game by targeting them with this thing. Okay, let's draw a card. Okay, that's 6 damage already, which I could actually use by just killing the Trench-Stalker. Okay. So if I attack with everything now, that won't be so good anymore. I mean, I don't mind trading the Elite, but I can't really attack with all, because the Strong Bull will get eaten by the Stalker, and they can even, jump block with the one. If they didn't have a jump block available, they would go to a low life total and I might finish them off with the burn, but it's not happening now. Problem is that the Strong Bull can be double blocked by... I mean, I guess I can kill the Stalker and then attack for 5. Maybe they will probably jump block there. I can't just attack in the air, but I really don't like them getting life from this thing. They have 3 cards I don't know about and 1 card draw in the draw step. Well, I'm not gonna attack the Strong Bull anyway here, so I'm gonna do it like this. If they choose to block with the Trench-Stalker, I'm happy with that block. And if they jump block, I don't mind. If they take all the damage, that's actually not quite enough lethal. This would have been 5 damage. They go to 7, then I can put them to 1, but I wouldn't have mana to activate the Strongbow. So they choose that line, which means that I'm pretty sure I don't want to let them gain the life. I mean, I guess I could, but it's still a bit awkward. I mean, I really like the fact this can be 6 to the face, but then again, if they gain 4 life now, it's not ideal. I do want to use these spells though, although I guess I could draw a card, but it's also good. The supply drop is good to have for the Strongbow. You know what? Damn those life gainers. If it didn't have the lifelink option, I wouldn't have made this play, but now, because I really don't want them to gain any more life. Now both the Paratrooper and the Strongbow, you know, present some kind of threats. Of course they have to deal with the 4/4 somehow to, okay, they have a million ways to bring that stuff back. That's also a good way to, you know, jump block my elite. They have jump blocked it for so many times. But now, if they don't deal with the Strongbow, which they didn't, it actually is I have good threats of activation for it as well. Okay, with that too. Should I play this main phase? You know, you never know how many times you want to activate it, so I bet I'm gonna do this. Although that gives them more information about what they're gonna face. So maybe it's... So let's say if they block with both of them, I mean, I can just sack one Power Stone. Yeah, I'm not... And I can use the mana from the Power Stone for it. So yeah, I don't really need to do anything. They might have the +2... Okay, they have the +2/+0 first strike, almost surely. And then they again get to play the... I know I could supply drop now, find something. And I would even have mana to cast the cohort post-combat. But do I even have anything? Well, I do have another supply drop. That's the only thing I believe. Unless I have like a whirling strike of my own. I think I might still be sacking the supply drop for a card. Rather than, you know, threaten damage with this. Because they are at 11. I'm not gonna threaten too much of a lethal here yet. Let's actually draw this thing. Maybe it is the one of supply drop. Maybe it's not, but I think it was still worth it. At least I don't have to draw that on the next turn. So with the cohort, they still cannot, you know, block with the Stalker. So if they play the Stalker, I can make this into about 6/7. Yeah, I can make it into a 6/7. Even more basically because I can sack this and then unearth it. Although I do have mana for all that. I do have 8 mana available. Did I play my land this previous turn? I don't think I did. Maybe I should have played the plains just in case if I draw another land, I would maximize the use of mana. I mean, the amount of mana I have available. But let's hope they don't have a removal. Okay, they had an autonomous assembler. Ooh, Onilet gonna be good too. So I don't have the ability to attack with the cohort right now. So if they double block, they're gonna have 6 power, 6 toughness, for which I can sacrifice 4 things. Which is all these. They lose both of those. And I don't lose my Strongbow. And I will still have more to sack because of the cohort and the amulet, I suppose. So I can just attack with this thing. Also they have to block it because it's actually lethal if they don't. I think. I can make it into 6 power, ping them. Yeah, I can... Well, I don't know if that's actually true. Should I attack with everything? No, then they block the cohort with the... No, I don't think... So if I attack with everything, they are gonna have to block this Strongbow with the Infiltrator. They will eat the cohort with the Assembler. I mean, I think they're gonna jump block with the Infiltrator regardless. So let's see. I don't really mind if they double block because I will... Oh, this is... 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, each activation is 2 damage because it's both damage to the opponent and the +1/+1 until end of turn. So that's 8 damage plus a 2. It will cost 4 mana though. I have 9 mana available this turn. I will unearth and... Yeah, I think it's exactly lethal. I think it's exactly lethal. And I'm doing this anyway. I mean, even if it's like one shot, this should really be. Because I think I have mana to unearth and sacrifice one last artifact here. Because they go now to 1. Yeah. I mean, I actually didn't even need the last mana. That's in my hand. So they didn't really realize that they have to block this thing. Yeah, that's strong bull for you. With plenty of artifacts. Such an insane card. But I mean, if I had like multiple cohorts in the deck, that would be a scenario that might happen a little bit more often. I was very lucky in this game because I drew like two of my 3 explosions and of course the cohort, which gave me a lot of food for the strong bull. Right, so they are black-red. I didn't see ways to sack. I did see the couple of worlds, but I don't have any exiling of graveyard stuff. They have a whirling strike, disfigure. Yeah, I really don't. I mean, I assume they have ways to sack their stuff. I don't like the prison sentence in this matchup, but I do like the Lorans escape for sure against the stuff that I saw there. And well, I guess I do have a swift gear Drake to exile, something from their graveyard. But the emergency world will always find a target of some kind. Is this a Mistress Onslaught or a Race to the Ground? Any artifacts? Well, they do have the Autonomous Assembler, but not much. After that, basically these Clay Revenants are not something you're gonna use removal on very often, so I don't think it's going to be the Race to the Ground. It could be the Loran here. I will try the Loran here now. Okay. Oh, well. Now it's an even better starting hand with 3 lands both colors. Alright. I don't have a creature early, but hopefully I can draw one. Target. Okay. I can target the opponent's stuff with this thing, so I will put in all the pass so they don't get a read of what I'm holding here. So I'm not gonna bolt everything, but how about the Giggs and Infiltrator? Will I bolt that? Well, I guess I'll see what I draw first. Well, there's an answer for that. To that question, I no longer have a reason to bolt anything. When I can just play my own creature here. Now this is actually not so bad with the supply drop. They might have the +2/+0. Then again I can't use supply drop and the Loran's escape. Okay, let's make them use it. I'll just trade here. Demon. That is a thing I will actually consider. Oh, I can actually not. Yeah, no. I mean, it's not like they're gonna right away start sacrificing stuff. It's 3 mana. What I can do here now, I can play the research desk, activate it, and then bring it back with the Loran on the next turn. So that sounds a very good idea. I might have. Do I have 1-drops anymore? Is there any reason to do this right now? No, I don't think there is. I'm going to do like this. Now, I'm not gonna do the Loran on the next turn necessarily, but because I have to cast this thing now. Oh, they choose to not attack at all. Why? Why don't they attack? Okay, they get the Infiltrator back, be my guest. That's just 2 damage they could have dealt there. Very interesting. Yeah, because I have to, of course, cast the card I choose here now. But if it's just a land, but... Okay, well, it's an Excavation Explosion, so... No Loran yet. I think I'm going to deal with... Demon here first. Oh, I guess I shouldn't put a full auto pass because I might protect my own Power Stone from some removal spell, very unlikely, but not totally impossible. Yeah, I did, get rid of my 2 ways to actually deal with the Trench Stalker. But yeah, with the Demon in the deck, the Prison Sentence isn't that great. Now, am I supposed to double spell here to kill that Trench Stalker? I don't have the Loran and a supply drop. Well, I guess I can see. I can protect my own Loran with the Loran's Escape, which is, you know, actually such a nice, I don't know, on-theme combination of cards. Because I can return the research desk, you know, block the Infiltrator. I can take the 4 here. I don't have to immediately kill this guy. Let's just play the Loran here. Get the research desk back. And I can even, you know, the good thing is I can actually cast it for the Power Stone mana. And then activate it if I don't need to use the Loran's Escape. So this was a good turn. I don't think I have any other legendary creatures for this to re-trigger, but it's already good as is. And I do have the Exile spell, the sort of white bounce spell, which I could, you know, use for the Loran too. Okay, so let's make them use a trick of some. This could be the +2/+0. I would be very happy if they chose to do that. Disfigure there. Well, I'm gonna escape. And I get to scry here. They have another spell too. Wow, they actually went with the Disfigure first. Well, that was still a 2 for 2. It wasn't a catastrophic thing, but that was good for them. I mean, if I let them resolve the Disfigure there, it's gonna be a 1/1. It will still trade with that Infiltrator. I guess they knew that I'm gonna have this, and it's too tempting to not use it. Oh, too tempting to use it, so... Because I could have let the Disfigure resolve and let these guys trade, and that would have been a 2 for 1 for me. Interesting. Anyway, here I don't think I'm gonna fool around with the Trench Stalker anymore. I'm gonna make it go away, because I'm facing, you know, 7 damage. Other alternative is to just kill the Infiltrator, but... I don't want to deal with the 4/5. Now it's also exiled because of the bolt, so if they have one of the emergency welds, they can't at least bring that one back. Okay, no sacrifices yet, so taking only 3 here. They do have 2 more cards in their hand. Well, that's not a... I mean, I don't care about that. This is a good combination with the Thraxo Demon, of course, but I got rid of that. Alright, one of these 2... Well, there's a useless card and a very good card, so let's do it like this. Am I gonna play the Strong Bull though, or leave mana up for the supply drop? Now they are top decking, so they might not have any great stuff coming up. Yeah, I'm gonna play the Strong Bull. I still have, you know, 1 mana to use the activation there. Okay. I should maybe Evolving Files first and then use the research desk. I'm gonna do it right away before I forget it. Don't think there's any reason to prefer white over red or vice versa. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's take a mountain. Okay, so attacking with the cohort. Not really great into the Clay Revenant. I could attack with the Strong Bull. And if they put more blockers than the Revenant, then I can... Yeah, I'm gonna attack with the Strong Bull. Of course they can just block with the Revenant and return it, but it will enter tapped, so if they play it on the next turn, it won't be able to block on the next turn. Now that they have done that decision, let's see what I find with this thing. I have still 5 mana, which means I can cast any spell. I don't have anything more expensive than that. Alright, so there's an explosion and there's a soul partition. So any soul partition doesn't do anything too amazing, so I'm gonna take the explosion here. And I guess I'm gonna just use it on the Infiltrator here. And I don't have the supply drop up, but I'm not too concerned about that. This is now 5 artifacts, and that's a lot of artifacts for the Strong Bull. And as you can see, this is now tapped, so they will have to jump block with the 1/1. Oh, that's a really good combination with the Clay Revenant, by the way. Alright, well that is actually a way for the opponent to get a victory here, because they can get It's gonna be expensive, but I think they might have mana for that. At least very soon. Get the 3/3 every turn. Okay, so now I have to... Oh, I still drew a land. How many lands I have? 1 in graveyard, 1 in exile, 3 plus 7, 10. So 5 lands and 12 spells still. Okay. If I attack with everything, then I have a supply drop here, so I should attack with everything, because I don't care who they block and how. The cohort can go to my graveyard too, that's fine, and that's... Oh, that is... Why would they do that? I mean, I can just eat the 3/3 like this. Huh. Interesting. And I think I'm gonna save my cohort now. And I think I'm gonna just draw a card from them. You know, why not do it right away? Why not do it right away? Okay, more strong bulls. Okay, that's probably gonna be good enough, because this is still very slow, so they have to pay... This is not in their hand. They have to pay 4 to get it on the battlefield, then 2 to sack it. So it costs 6 mana to do that thing. But that's only 1 3/3 per turn, and against my board, it actually, with this double strong bulls, it's not going to be that amazing. Okay, that's entering... Yeah, that's understaffed, but of course they can still sack it. So it's 2 mana to sack to make this into a 3/3. If they don't have a 1 mana spell, I'm not concerned about them having the access to that. Okay, this is easy attack with everything now. I mean, I'm gonna run out of artifacts, of course, but this is also... By the way, let's cancel. Let's do the math first. I mean, I didn't do that. So they are taking now currently 4 plus. They are taking 6. That's that. I need to deal 12 remaining. So that's of course not gonna be. Yeah, I'm not gonna have that much. So, but on the next turn, it starts to get a little bit closer. Yeah, but anyway, they can't. They have to be able to cast another spell, not just a 1 3/3 for 6 mana, because I have too much here. Okay, that is a Trench Stalker, which me... Oh, no, they have to. That was good for them. Let's see what I draw now. Oh, I actually have drawn what? So many lands, considering this is a 15 land deck. 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 8, 12. I have 3 lands and 11 spells. Well, okay. I still threaten these strong bulls to be very large, and if the opponent has learned anything from the previous game, is that they should definitely respect. So that's 3, that's 6 from an I can deal a 6 from extra from an unblocked strong bull. So I'm not even actually gonna think about it, I'm just gonna go for it. Attack with everything and see how they block. So yeah. Do I have a lethal? First of all, I can sack 1. By the way, sacking this 1/1 is better than letting it go through, because it's actually 2 damage when I sack it on a strong bull. So I can do 1, 2, that's 3 plus 2, I mean 6 plus 2, that's 8. Then post combat I can... I'm actually 1 short this time. Post combat I wouldn't be able to. I mean, I would have only 2 extra damage, that's 10 total. Right. So the alternative is to kill the Trench Stalker here, for which I need to sack 3 artifacts. The Infiltrator will actually survive in that case. It's a bit shame that they... Oh, I'm running out of time here. This is crazy. Oh, so many decisions, so much to talk about. I mean, I think if 1, 2... No, that's 6 from the artifacts. Should I have pre-combat sacked this and unearthed it? That actually might have done the trick. I mean, I could have pre-combat sack and then unearth it and then have more. Yeah, that's possibly was what I needed to do, but too late now. I need to win the final game if I lose this one, so 6, is it, that can deal 8, and then post-combat it can deal 2 more from the pings. It's not enough, and that would be the only creature left on my battlefield. So if I deal 8, they go to 3, the next turn... they would have to kick an Infiltrator alive in that case too. I'm not sure. I think I feel I need to do this. I'm not liking this one bit. I'm not liking this one bit, but I'm gonna do this. the infiltrator will survive, and actually we're gonna pick up a counter because of the you know, they're gonna sacrifice with the altar if they get nothing better. But that was a lot of damage I could have dealt to their face, which I chose not to do. But they will have 2 blockers, I will have 3 attackers. Now I'm still very close to winning if I just draw a spell here. I didn't realize this is taking so much time. Well, I'm gonna win a game in 10 minutes, hopefully, if I lose this one. And it's gonna be close to over. I mean, whether I win or lose, it's not gonna take much more. They either draw some kind of bomb here, or I should be able to win here, because if this is the only thing they can do, unless this is a 1-mana spell they have here, because that's all they're gonna have left. The 3/2 and the 3/3 won't be helping, because I can... Oh, it is... Okay, it is a 1-mana spell, but it enters tapped. So now I unearth this and attack with everything. They block both the strong bulls. Then they will lose both of these guys. They take some damage. It's not the greatest actually, because they drew the Revenant. They're gonna be able to use the altar. I mean, I think I have to still do it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm not happy. Maybe there's some way to... let's just attack here. I can't let them get a turn, because they just get more 3/3s every turn, and then I can't ever get through here. Man, that was a good set of draws for them. So I can save this strong bull by sacking the 1/1 here. Then they take 3 here. Yeah, but I guess they will be at 1 here regardless, because I can sack the cohort, of course, post-combat. And I mean, this strong bull will die, but I guess that's fine. Any artifact will be lethal damage then, because what I do here is I need to have a strong bull alive post-combat, so I'm gonna do this right now. And then I will let this strong bull go, deal 3 to their face, and then they go to 2, and now they go to 1. And then I need to get... I mean, I have 2 amulets, I think. As long as they don't gain life. But I might get a removal spell on the strong bull, because they can make another 3. Yeah, my attacker won't do anything here. If they now draw a removal for the strong bull... Wow. Okay. And that's a way for them to win in a couple of turns. And I drew the artifact, of course. Wow, what a top deck. Alright, well, I guess I can still win, but I need to draw something good here. That is something good. Okay, that is the victory. Because this is having flash. I'm gonna play the land here. So they're gonna attack with the care resisting. So they need to draw another way to save themselves. This is now a top decked card that needs to deal with the 1/2 flyer, because I'm pretty sure they are gonna attack with the tyrant here, because they have a 2-turn clock with the tyrant, and they can deal with my vanguard here. Yes, please use all your mana to make a 3/3 token, and please attack with the tyrant. I do have a 3rd strong bull in the deck, so I can just top deck a strong bull and sack the wellspring too. Okay, yes, and then use 2 mana on that, and please don't have a disfigure there, because if they have another disfigure, they have played 1 already. Okay, they leave a 1 red mana open, so that's not gonna deal with the Battlethopter. All I need here is that they attack with the tyrant here now, because... Okay, that's the final land tour also. They have a 2-turn clock. Yes, okay. They had a good top deck, but so did I. So... But I also drew almost all my lands. With, 11 cards still left in the deck. Okay. I'm winning now. Thank you, Liberator. Okay, yeah, this is actually pretty embarrassing. Opponent has used only less than 10 minutes. I have used almost 21 minutes here. But I mean, when you record these drafts, and I mean, there's a lot of decisions that I would have, if I didn't have any, anyone to talk to, I would have made all these decisions a lot faster, because, discussing what your plans are is gonna take a lot more time than just going through them in your head. But yeah, anyway, a win is a win, even if it takes a lot of time to accomplish. Okay, well now this is more like what I'm expecting with this 15 land deck. Now, would I mean even on the play here, so I would have to draw a land in top 2 to make this a decent one, and I have of course 14 lands left in the deck. One in top 2 is still more than 50%, but the flip side of that is if I don't draw one in the top 2, I'm in a really bad shape. So I'm gonna mulligan. And this is actually a lot better, and I can even get rid of this extra land here. Alright, I have a 2-drop, a trick, a removal, and come on, not that thing. Okay, well, I'm now happy I drew this, but this is really, I mean, annoying because it's, you know, not really that amazing card in the format, but the format does have a bunch of, you know, 3-1s. Of course, I do have the supply drop here, so it's not that. I mean, I would have been able to attack even with the Rock Hunter, but let's see if they're gonna trade with the Vanguard. Huh. They don't care about that. I'm not gonna use the, of course, the supply drop just to deal extra damage, but play my own 3-1, and now the question is, do I attack with them? Ah, now I understand. That was a reason for them to not use these creatures in combat, but I can also just get rid of this guy and deal 5 to them. Hopefully they don't have another, because I really don't wanna... Because supply drop doesn't help me, you know, eat a 4/4. I will still lose my creature I'm gonna pump. Alright, so with the supply drop, I'm kinda wanting to... see what they do. I mean, a trade wouldn't be the worst. I mean, of course, I could block the 1/1 and make them use whatever trick they have. So I think I should just take the 3 in here and maybe counter the trick with a supply drop here. Scrap the code. Well, that's one thing that makes the Rock Hunter so bad. Yeah, this is now, of course, horrible. Maybe they block with you know, the cohort here, and I can use the supply drop to, you know, not a lot of value, but some. I mean, at least I get to deal with the 3-1. But now my own Rock Hunter is really doing not much. I think when I see a Survival of Corliss and the 1/1 tokens, I might even cut both of my Rock Hunters if I have a means to replace them with something that's cheap. Okay, well, I mean, now just see what they have up. I mean, they are not gonna have 2 tricks, are they? Yeah, that's gonna eat that, but then at least I'm gonna be able to use my 3-1 for something useful, trading with the 2-drop they have there. Okay, land's not a bad thing at all. I do have now, I mean, if that was all the tricks they had, I obviously, they don't have an attack now. This even threatens to be a 3-4 if they have like another military discipline, but no, they have something a lot better. Draw 2 cards, nice refill there. Well, they have no attacks. I do have an attack myself. This can be a 3-4, so if they block with all... Well, then I lose this, but then I don't also have to... Yeah, I'm gonna deal them some damage, and of course just play the other strong bull here. But yeah, then, I mean, I guess this was just a divination which gives them mana which they might not need, so maybe it wasn't the end of the world. Now I need my prison sentence here. Okay, so that cannot still attack into the strong bull because I do have the supply drop here. Supply drop to make it a bigger one. Okay, but I don't have any attacks against the cavalry there, so let's just play this thing and let's do this and just, you know, activate this right away. Again, I don't think I care about having 3 of either of those mana. But let's take a mountain. So the Amuletic means I can still. Oh, well, scratch that. I'm gonna now lose the. I mean, not maybe on the next turn, but on the turn after that. I don't really have much going on here. Yeah, I can't use my 3-1s against these survivors of Corlys. I'm taking 7, and then I'm gonna be at 2 after that. So even one prison sentence won't be helping. So let's go to next game, and I do have some sideboarding to do. I don't think there's anything worth sideboarding there. You know the. I mean, I'm not gonna kill this Mightstone and Weakstone with the Raise to the Ground. But I believe they didn't really have artifacts, and of course the Scrapwork cohort is not the kind of target either. But yeah, the Rock Hunters are just bad. I can't really see why would I play them. I'm gonna play the Loran's Escape, and maybe like the Disciple of History. Maybe I need Aeronaut's Wings to. No, I guess I can use my removal on their flyers. They are 5 mana 3/4 after all. Yeah, I think I'm going to have the Loran here. Now, I'm not going to splash the engineers. I could, be very crazy and just splash the engineers and the shoot down. Shoot down is good still against these flyers, and they have a bunch of one toughness creatures against which the engineers is actually quite nice with the first ability or choice here. But I mean, I would have to add the land, and this would be so unreliable mana. I don't want to lose my final game in the event to not drawing the correct colors of mana. So I'm just going to take the Loran Disciple of History, and I hope that. Well, I don't know. Hope that I get a better start. I did have a decent start. The opponent just had better stuff going on there. That, of course, happens. Alright, this is now quite acceptable hand. I have a 2-mana play and then some interaction. Don't know yet what to do with the partition. Okay, land is very good. I can now use the excavation explosion if need be. Well, there's no need to use that. Oh, that's a good one. So I might actually win a game in this event. I don't know. I have won the games in this event, but I mean in this match, I lost the game 1. So okay, they have their own ambush thing. Sure. Now I did saw the military discipline, so I'm definitely not blocking with the Liberator. I just take the one here. They're gonna deal. I don't want to lose the Liberator to military discipline here. That would be horrible. Although, I could get it back. Soul Partition. So do I want to exile this thing to bring it back? I mean, I would deny the Scry there. But I'd rather play the Liberator. And then I can use Excavation Explosion on the Paratrooper, and then I can still, if I really need my own Paratrooper, if I want to have the pump effect. Plus they Scry on top anyway. I can still, free the Paratrooper with the Partition. But yeah, this is now, there's nothing in the graveyard, so no worth using the Loran here, but this is. And the passivism does prevent the abilities from being used, so I can't use the Paratrooper even if I had access to the 5 mana, which I do have now. They have that, which can kill that thing. Well, they have a Loran of the 3rd path, killed my Liberator, and then my Loran Disciple of History is gonna bring it back. Sure. Oh, and actually I can, benefit from the. I mean, assuming the Disciple isn't gonna die right now, I might even, get an additional ETB of it with the Soul Partition once this copy of the Liberator has died. But let's not go. I mean, a lot of stuff can happen before that, so Loran just might die to some effect now. I don't like the fact they have this because it makes my own prison sentences a little bit bad. Alright, so how to do with this thing now? I don't have any Scrapwork much, so I can just play all my lands. So if I attack, they're gonna. I mean, I would have to bolt the cohort and then offer them to double block the disable of history, which is a bit sad when I have the soul partition, but I guess I can... I mean, that will empty their board and I can still use the soul partition. Yeah, this is fine. I'm gonna play this now despite having flash, because I'm gonna bolt actually go this way. I mean, they won't be also getting this to graveyard now. It will be exiled, and I wanted to pick up the counter with the Liberator. So now I can do this, and if they choose to double block, of course I'm not gonna use the soul partition. I could, you know, use it on the 1/1 here. But the point is, if I use it on the 1/1, I mean, I still don't get the Loran. I mean, this is just a 3/3. I don't care about the 3/3 here. I'm actually not gonna worry about it. They don't want to, either of us, to draw a card. Alright. So I can save my own creature from some kind of removal. Now that didn't happen, should I use the... No, I'm gonna first see what I draw. Okay, just a land. That does mean that I probably will be getting the Paratrooper now. Because it has flash. I can cast the Soul Partition, then the Paratrooper. I won't have 5 mana after that, so I'm gonna just deal 2 here. 7 lands, so I have 8 left in the deck and 19 spells. It does seem the opponent is having, you know, 5 lands and all spells, which is a little bit bad here, of course, but what can you do? Cavalry. Well, I guess that's... Why didn't they do pre-combat? Maybe they have a trick of some kind. I believe I still do the Paratrooper. I mean, if I draw a 3 mana spell, I can make this into a 3/4 and then have the threat of activation here. Yeah, this is not good. This is not actually good. I need a 3 mana spell, which I did draw. Okay, well that was actually lucky. But I'm still facing a lot of damage here. I'm gonna still be the aggressor here. I know I could block the cavalry, but they might have tricks of some kind. I'm taking a ton of damage on the next turn. That is sad, but... Oh well. I did extra damage here rather than, you know, double block the elite and use this, because I don't think I'm going to win the game if I double block the elite. I also think I do need to draw some good stuff to not lose immediately. But the cards the opponent has played, they are pretty decent here in this situation. But I guess if I find my own prison sentence... Oh, they can kill them. Yeah, well, I mean... Now that is just, you know, a kill spell at 5, but it still feels always so bad that they have the 2 mana now available for artifacts and abilities. That said, the Onulet is a good draw, but I don't want to really just jump block with it, but I might have to do that. If they attack with both, no, I think I'm done in this game. I could jump block with the Paratrooper, but that is one of my ways to, you know, a little bit of maybe deal extra damage. Do I have to be lucky and draw like an Excavation Explosion to deal the remaining 3? So this turn I can deal 3, they go to 8. Or I can deal 2. I mean, this will have the Unearth available, so I'm gonna jump block with it. There's not much else to do. I can even, you know, block and then use it on the Strong Bull to deal an additional point. So maybe if I draw an Excavation Explosion, I might be able to somehow deal the damage. And if they don't attack with the cavalry, then I don't have to block either. Because I am at 7, this deals 5. I have seen Military Discipline, but that only is 1 extra damage. Okay, they choose to attack this way, which is fine. More flyers, I suppose. Another cavalry. Okay, that's a ground guy. So I do have this option to, you know, sack this and then gain 2 life and then unearth it. But I don't like that. That's not an excavation explosion. So I think I need to now, well, just attack with the amulet, I guess. If I attack with the paratrooper and the amulet. Yeah, I don't really have a good way to deal extra damage here. I mean, if I sack this and unearth it, sack now, it's still gonna be only a 4-5. Not good enough against the elite. The 5-5 here is just blocking my attacks. Yeah, that cavalry with the elite is quite nice. I needed a prison sentence here. I think with the prison sentence I would be in a very good shape, of course, because they don't have a lot of blocks. So, and I'm losing of the kind of game where I'm just not doing anything, so I need to try to find some ways to push through. I think I'm just going to attack with the amulet here regardless. And see if they have a military discipline, then I'm dead. Because I'm gonna have to pump here if they block with the elite. Yeah. I'm gonna concede to a military discipline. Maybe even not, because I mean I guess I can sack guy's gift. Oh, that also gives my reach. Anyway, well, let's, you know, do this thing then. Now that means I can't play the strong bull, but I think every point of damage matter here. I go to 8. No, I went to 6. I can now, you know, jump block. I have to jump block the 6-6. Yeah, this time my strong bulls don't have enough food to sack. So the one game where I was able to, you know, or maybe there were 2 games where I was able to sack a ton of stuff. It was a bit of a lucky draw in regarding the artifacts. Okay, sure, let's do this and let's do this. Not much I can do about it. And they're gonna have a disfigure here, right? No. Yeah, they just had too much stuff here. They had 5 lands and then all spells, and that at least most of the spells were really good. So what I can now do is, well, I can't do the lethals. They have blockers. I mean, if they didn't have all these blockers, of course it would be way different. They are at 5 lands, I'm at 8 lands. So, but of course they drew more cards here. They still didn't draw any lands. That's, well, they could have a land in the hand, of course. Anyway, I'm gonna unearth this. And then, you know, I can attack. They don't even have to block with both. Well, no, I guess they do have to block with both. It's too risky otherwise. Because I have, you know, 2 damage from the strong bull. So they do have to block with both. Yeah. And then I can gain 2 life from... Yeah, I guess it's... You know, there's a small chance because I can play the strong bull to block the elite. And of course the cavalry won't be lethal because I will be gaining here. 2 life from the amulet. But they will get actually the scribe from the core list too. I'm actually losing both games into the Iron Knight cavalry. It's very decent for them here. So sadly they are still at 6, which means that even if I top deck a... they get more life gain. I'm done. You know, I can top deck only 1 card. So what I have to play the strong bull and jump block the elite. I go to 5 here, but so I won't die to this thing. But I will be going to 2 after that. And then I have to draw 1 card that deals with the 6-6 and the 3-4. And I can't, you know, deal. They go now to, you know, 9 and then 8. So I can't deal 8 damage with anything either. So that was a, well, the opponent has a good deck in the final match, so, and they drew better, so that's how it goes. Their deck was, I don't know, maybe it would have been better if let's say at least one of the supply drops would have been the cohort, and maybe one of these was a Mistress Juggernaut. Then again, the Unearth with the Juggernaut is 6 mana, 4 mana with these things. The Rock Hunters should have been something better than Rock Hunters, and I guess I would have needed to draw one of these prison sentences in the last game. But yeah, a 2-1 is, I guess, a fine result for this deck, which didn't actually seem to be that broken. It had a lot of removal, but the creatures in the end weren't that amazing. So that was it for this draft, and the next one will, be Brothers War traditional. I will be continuing with those, I guess, until the next set, unless some other interesting events come up. There will be the decathlon event, but I don't think I'm going to record any of that. I will try to get some tokens for the finals, but unrecorded mostly. But yeah, Brothers War traditional drafts will be coming up now, at least for the next few weeks. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.